Ley, ¿ya está lista?
Veo que se está transmitiendo ya en vivo.
Sí.
Angela, I don't think we can do right now, but because we're live right now. So
Okay.
he's going to give a presentation right now, and then we can start.
All right. So how
Miguel, he's going to give the presentation. He's going to give it in Spanish. And then whatever you guys are saying, I'm going to be translating.
Okay. So just a question. So we haven't formally started yet, right?
We have because we are live right now.
Okay, we are. So it got pushed back like by 12 minutes because we should have we're starting 13 minutes late. Is that correct?
Miguel, la conferencia se movió 15 minutos.
Sí.
Para las 12:30, ¿sí?
Sí, estamos un poquito desfasados de tiempo por el cambio de sala.
Ok, es que me está preguntando ella sobre esto. Déjame a un breakout room con ellas.
And live, we need screen sharing options, right?
I have enabled that.
Okay, you've enabled that. How about breaking up into breakout rooms? Are you going to do that, or are we allowed to do that? Do we have capability?
I have the option to do the breakout rooms. If you want, what I can do is share the co-hosting with you.
Yes, that would be perfect. If you could share that with Ginger.
Okay.
It's good to see you, Lai.
Hi, Lai. Very nice to see you.
Good to see you too. Miguel, ayúdame colocando a Ginger como co-host también, porfa.
Listo.
Okay, Ginger, you're already co-hosting also.
Sounds good. And I don't know if that, yep, it allows me to make the breakout rooms for later. So that's wonderful. Thank you. And just so that Gigi has the ability as well, could we also give Gigi co-host ability?
Yes, Miguel,
Thank you.
también, por favor.
¿Me repites?
Gigi.
Gigi Carunungan.
Gigi, aquí está. Ok.
Thank you.
The only thing that I'm not so sure is like when we move to breakout rooms, how are we going to do the translation?
I think when we're in breakout rooms, a lot of the breakout rooms will be just discussion anyways. So it's just going to allow for everyone to share and speak in whatever language they're comfortable with.
Okay.
I would hope that that would work out okay. And we have something called a Jamboard that everyone can participate in as well in whatever language they're comfortable in sharing. It's just a way to process.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
So, like, question.
Yes.
You're doing simultaneous translation live, or are you typing your translation so that it is what they see in the subtitles? How does the translation happen? Because our slides will already have Spanish translation, the slides that we will be using.
Okay. As you prefer. Right now, I don't have the ability to do the two channels. What I can ask participants if it's okay that you speak and then I can say it in Spanish, or how do you prefer?
I don't think it's necessary for you to translate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So can they see it in Spanish?
Yes, all our slides are in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, because it will delay the process. Yeah.
Okay, so then what I can do is, I don't know, maybe type it out in the chat box?
You don't have to.
No?
If it's not in the slide, then you can type it, but I think it would be okay.
So what might be helpful is in case somebody has a question from the participants in the chat, if you could just translate that in the chat into English, that would be helpful for us.
Okay, let me,
But during the presentation, you don't need to translate live. We're gonna be okay.
no, but as in like the participants, I was concerned about them.
Like I think it would be okay. Because everything we try to translate everything
Already in the slides.
in the
yes.
slides. Yeah.
So the slides are done in Spanish and in English.
Mhm. Oh, she's frozen.
And is it actually possible now to test our screen sharing ability?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Gigi, do you want to
Okay. I'll
share
start.
screen?
Oops, wrong screen. What? Let me try again. Why was that not? Hold on, I'm looking for it. Here you go. Does that work?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay. Can you see Lai? It's Spanish.
Yes,
Yeah. So we have every slide like this, always with English and Spanish.
okay, good.
I'm done. Your turn.
And then again, like we said, like in case any of the participants have a question in Spanish, if we could just also translate that in the chat and into English, that would be very helpful while the presentation is going on. So we could keep track of their questions also. Is that okay?
Yes, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
So like Gigi here, I can actually understand Spanish. Just
Oh,
I'm just not,
great.
yeah, I'm just not very good in speaking. But I can understand perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, great. Are you ready to start or should we wait more?
I suggest we wait till 12:30 because they were told 12:30, if that's okay.
Okay, because some people, I don't think they knew it was
Oh,
later. No, I'm not so sure. Miguel, cambiaron la hora también, le avisaron a los participantes, ¿sí?
Sí, bueno, estábamos en la otra sala y se migraron a esta.
Ok.
Ya contando a las personas, son casi las mismas que estaban en la sala anterior. Podemos comenzar si gustas.
how many do we have now?
We are 16 in the room and minus 11. And what he says is that most participants were in the other conference room. So these are the same participants that came from the other conference, the previous conference.
So everyone is back.
So we can start if
Okay.
you're ready.
Okay.
I think Miguel is going to give a brief presentation of you guys in Spanish.
Okay.
Listos.
Jess.
Bien, vamos a comenzar entonces. Agradeciendo a nuestras ponentes del día de hoy, todo el equipo que en este momento va a impartir este taller. Vamos a dar el preámbulo para todos los que están ya conectados. Quienes no pudieron conectarse ahorita puedan visualizar la grabación a través del canal. Así que esta sesión queda grabada de cualquier manera, en cualquier situación. Y bueno, pues comenzamos con el taller. El título es Making Math Sense Through Storytelling Workshop. Y su descripción es la siguiente: dando sentido a las matemáticas a través de la narrativa. La descripción del taller tiene como objetivo brindar a los participantes del taller una experiencia práctica con el uso de la narración de cuentos para inspirar y entusiasmar a educadores, padres, facilitadores de programas extracurriculares y niños de K2 con el aprendizaje de matemáticas, usando libros de cuentos de matemáticas producidos por Math Explorers. Como materiales de muestra, el taller espera introducir un enfoque creativo para la enseñanza de conceptos matemáticos abstractos que hacen que las matemáticas y la lectura no solo sean agradables, sino que también enciendan en los estudiantes una sensación de entusiasmo y apertura al descubrimiento y el aprendizaje. Los libros e historias intercurriculares que Math Explorers representan las intersecciones de las matemáticas académicas y como resultado humanizan el aprendizaje de las matemáticas. Comparadas con una selva tropical, las historias de matemáticas están llenas de ideas matemáticas, los libros ilustrados interculturales, con tramas están impulsados por grandes ideas matemáticas. El escenario es un pueblo llamado lo que sea, donde, simulando el mundo en el que vivimos, la mayoría de la gente piensa que no es buena en matemáticas. Los personajes se meten en problemas y necesitan ayuda, impulsados por problemas no estructurados y abiertos. Los estudiantes ayudan a los personajes y aprenden a usar las ideas matemáticas y el sentido y razonamiento matemático para resolver problemas. Los libros entrelazan temáticamente temas de K2 en pensamiento algebraico, formas, aritmética y medidas. Este es el contexto de nuestro taller. Ahora, ¿quiénes van a impartir el taller? Bueno, en primer lugar tenemos a Angela Mascarenas, que es un organizador comunitario, educador e investigador desde hace mucho tiempo. Es cofundadora de la organización con sede en Chicago, de 31 años, cuya misión es promover la participación comunitaria y la educación popular a través de las artes. Ángela dirigió el desarrollo y lanzamiento del programa de extensión para jóvenes STEAM y que utiliza enfoque de artes integradas para enriquecer el aprendizaje STEAM entre los jóvenes inmigrantes y marginados. Ángela actualmente se desempeña como directora de participación comunitaria de CIRCA Pintig y directora de programas internacionales de STEAM. Es organizadora de comunidad, educadora e investigadora. Es cofundadora de la organización Center for Immigrant Resource and Community Arts, cuya misión es promover la participación comunitaria y la educación popular mediante las artes. Ángela lideró el desarrollo y lanzamiento del programa CIRCA Pintig STEAM y que emplea un acercamiento integrado hacia las artes para enriquecer la enseñanza STEM entre migrantes y jóvenes desfavorecidos. Actualmente es la directora de participación comunitaria en CIRCA Pintig y directora del programa internacional STEAM. Ella también está acompañada de dos personas más que nos están... Tres, es correcto, que nos van a aportar y nos van a dirigir durante este taller. Así que bueno, si me permiten, vamos a hacer también su presentación. También contamos con Gigi Leopoldo, es la actual directora ejecutiva de CIRCA y entrenadora principal en su programa STEAM Life. Es educadora, actriz, directora y organizadora comunitaria. Su trabajo incluye realizar, dirigir, producir y facilitar producciones teatrales y talleres para todas las edades. Ginger ha ayudado a crear un plan de estudios de herencia juvenil con técnicas que utilizan una metodología básica de taller de artes teatrales integradas, así como un facilitador de talleres de activismo y arte para estudiantes universitarios. Tiene más de 20 años de experiencia en la enseñanza, utilizando métodos integrados basados en las artes con niños y adultos. Y Ginger es la actual directora ejecutiva de CIRCA Pintig y entrenadora líder del programa STEAM Leaf. Es educadora, actriz, directora y organizadora de su comunidad. Su trabajo incluye actuación y dirección, producción y facilitación de productos de talleres en todas las edades. También contamos con la participación de Gigi Carunungan, no sé si lo pronuncié bien, y ella es cofundador de Math Explorers y se desempeña como presidente del consejo asesor en STEAM Leaf de CIRCA. Tiene más de 30 años de experiencia como líder en educación y la impulsa su pasión por reinventar la educación. Inventó el modelo helicoidal, un modelo de aprendizaje constructivista anclado en la neurociencia y el aprendizaje. Cofundó y dirigió el aprendizaje de 2 escuelas K8 de Silicon Valley, Synapse School e Immersion School. También fue cofundadora y arquitecta principal de aprendizaje de Play Innovate, un laboratorio de aprendizaje de STEAM en línea para estudiantes. Es cofundadora de MaxPress y presidenta del comité asesor, motivada por su pasión en la reinvención de la educación. Tiene 30 años de experiencia como líder educativa. Y por último tenemos también la participación de Jessica Liu. Jessica Liu, ella fue docente voluntaria por 2 años en Safe Passage College. En Guatemala facilitó el acceso de lecciones STEAM de alto nivel a estudiantes de familias de bajos recursos. Max Explorers es su debut como diseñadora e ilustradora de libros. Es una fiel creyente en el valor de tomar el camino menos convencional y motiva a sus estudiantes a explorar temas que les interesen dentro y fuera del salón de clases. Es apasionada en promover educación accesible, efectiva y cautivante para niñas y niños de todo el mundo. Pues es un honor para mí poder presentarlos y esperamos que todo este taller que se va a brindar a continuación sea de total agrado para todos los asistentes. Todo suyo, el micrófono y la cámara, y gracias por su participación.
Muchas gracias. Mi nombre es Gigi y buenas tardes a todos. Mi español no es tan bueno, pero tengo un poquito. So I will be sharing in English, but mi slides están en español. Okay, vamos a empezar. I will share my slides. Estoy buscando mis slides. Oh. No, I can't. Oh, there you go. Okay. ¿Puedes ver mis slides? ¿Sí?
Yes, we see it.
Okay. All right. All right. So today we're presenting stories make math make sense. And there are 4 of us presenting. And we are representing Math Explorers. It's a nonprofit organization that focuses on math, reinvention of math. So our story is a reinvention de math con multicultural math adventures. And we started research on how to create optimal math learning experiences for children. So everything that we'll be presenting to you is based on research. And then we conceptualized, we wrote, we illustrated math adventure stories. And then we conducted a design study with teachers and students in California public schools and Chicago after school programs. So this was not just something we thought about. This was really based on study. So part 1, what is the framework for reinventing math? First, look at this. Okay. Maybe some of us were in this position. Nosotros estábamos en esta posición cuando estábamos pequeñas y nuestros estudiantes también. So what is the problem with math education? How big and how serious is the problem that it requires reinventing? mathematics assessment scores of USA students. Look at this. This is in 2019. Only 41% were proficient in 4th grade. Proficient, in Spanish, it's proficiente, right? Lai, what is proficient in Spanish?
Es como la proficient, es como que sean capaces de la capacidad de ellos de dar, de la competencia de ellos.
Sí, puede entender el matemática en su grade level, en su grado. So in 4th grade is 41%, and 8th grade is 34%, in 12th grade is 24%, okay? So this is in 2019. Después, en 2022, en Estados Unidos, mira, el 41% bajó 36%, el 34% bajó 26%. So those who were not proficient are 64% today and 74% in 8th grade. So, which means the problem is really big because it's affecting majority of our students in the US. What is the problem? Why is this going on? We know PISA, TIMSS, and so we looked at their analysis, and they did an analysis based on students' answers on international assessments. The US is number 25 in PISA. I'm not sure what number Mexico is, but these are international companies that do the math assessments. So this is their sample question. Joe knows that a pen costs 1 Z more than a pencil. His friend bought 2 pens and 3 pencils for 17 Zs. How many Zs will Joe need to buy 1 pen and 2 pencils? So show your work. So this is an example question that they give 8th graders. So you can see here that they show that there are more than 1 possible correct answer. And they, if you look at it, they have different categories for how they grade. Correcto, trabajo mostrado, trabajo correcto, ahora mostrado, incorrecto, omitido. Yeah. So, and then, oopsie, you see here are possible answers. Okay. So this, if you answer this way, then you get a correct answer. However, only 25% of the students answered correctly these kinds of questions. And the students who did not answer correctly were those students who learned math through repetition and memorization. So, which means if you learned math through memorization and repetition, you don't have competency in math and in mathematics. So it relates to the score of the students who didn't get their proficiency in math. The sample assessment question was an 8th grade conceptual algebraic math problem. It wanted to check for the knowns, unknowns, and how to formulate an equation to problem solve. So, what we know, the way we teach math determines what our students know and feel about math. What else do we need to know? How children can connect to and learn math, because that seems to be a problem. Our children are not connecting and are not learning math, at least not a majority of them. And if we know that, then how do we reinvent math learning? How do we do research plus experimentations plus observations, and then look at findings, insights, and strategies? So this is the process that we need to do to reinvent math learning. But how do we do that, right? So this is also the process that we undertook to find out ourselves how to go about reinventing math learning. So what we're presenting to you now is an exploratory study and how math stories engage young learners in mathematical sense making. Am I too fast? Or am I okay? Quiero saber, soy muy aprisa? Or is okay? Yeah, Lai? So am I too fast?
We can ask the participants. Los participantes que están escuchando esta transmisión, ¿está muy rápida la presentación? No sé si nos pueden hacer, si está bien con un emoji en su cámara.
The chat. Oh, in the camera, yeah. Ooh.
Gracias. I think it's okay.
It's okay. All right, good. Oopsie. Okay, so who knows the game dominoes? Can you show in an emoji if you know the game dominoes? Yay. All right, everybody knows dominoes. So, ¿cuántos puntos ves por encima de la línea? Or how many dots do you see above the line? How many dots do you see below the line? Did you know children from age 2 can identify 2 and 3 objects without counting? They may not know the number names or the idea of counting, but they know 2 from 3. Subitizing. Subitizing is a fast and accurate enumeration process of small sets of usually less than 4 objects. Mathematicians or mathematician researchers or higher education mathematicians, they argue, is subitizing therefore a special way of counting? Because what we know about counting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's counting, right? But when you look at these objects, you can immediately say, oh, that's 4, that's 5. Is that a way of counting? Freeman in 1912 suggested that whereas measurement focused on the whole and counting focused on the unit, only subitizing focused on the whole and the unit. Therefore, subitizing underlay number ideas. Carper, 1942, agreed that subitizing was a more accurate than counting and more effective in abstract situations. Math researchers continue to argue if subitizing happens before or after children learn counting. I suggest all of you help us and help the mathematicians. I suggest you do the research yourselves after this conference. Check out all the babies that you know and email us about your findings. Let us know if they started check if they subitize and check if they count first. And let us know because we want to know. Yeah. How many dots do you see above the line? How many dots do you see below the line? What makes knowing 6 different from the top and lower sets of dots? The way the dots are arranged makes it easier to know the number. How many dots do you see above the line? How many dots do you see below the line? How many dots do you see total? Wow, these teachers are fast. Adding small numbers makes bigger numbers. Subitizing is a natural ability in teaching number sense and addition, subtraction, and more. So if subitizing is if children are born and they grow up on their own naturally to subitize, we can, and if we know that, therefore, we should use subitizing in our schools, but we don't know about subitizing. So now what I want you to do is, what questions and ideas about the way we teach math do you have that were brought about your experience and insights from the short discussion on subitizing? Go to the chat and share with the group. Jing will be documenting your thoughts and questions, and we will do our best to respond to them. So let's go to the chat, spend a minute or so, and then we'd like to know what questions and ideas about the way we teach math do you have that were brought about your experience and insights from the short discussion on subitizing. So we'd like to see your questions and ideas in the chat. Go. Por favor, escribe sus preguntas y ideas.
Pueden dejar sus preguntas para ir participando.
Anything, anything. I just want you to share thoughts and ideas. Okay, well, we're going to move forward. So teachers, es importante que nosotros pensamos cuando estoy presentando. Después, it's also okay to just put your questions on the chat. Can you translate that, please, Lai?
Yes. Hola, estamos tratando de que también haya participación de ustedes, los que nos están escuchando a través de esta conferencia, para que pueda haber una mayor interacción y que sea más también, no solo una presentación, sino también una parte de poder compartir ideas y estrategias. Entonces nos ayudaría si pueden colocar preguntas o ideas acerca de su experiencia de cómo ustedes van viviendo o cómo ustedes han visto esa participación de estos conceptos dentro de sus aulas de clases.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put this in Spanish. Figure out how many triangles there are in this figure. ¿Cuántos triángulos? Yeah, hay en esta figura. Try to subitize. Can you translate that? Yeah.
En este gráfico que se encuentra en la pantalla, ¿cuántos triángulos tenemos? ¿Cuántos triángulos pueden contar ustedes, maestros?
Están comentando en el chat.
I'm looking, yes. I'm continuing. It's the same one. Cualquier de estos dos figuras es más fácil contar el total de los triángulos. Please write it in the chat. Escribe en el chat.
La
Oh,
figura
sorry,
que
I
tiene
added
los
the
ojitos, la
three ones.
figura que está a la derecha, ¿cuál de los dos es más fácil contar los triángulos? Lo pueden escribir en el chat.
Oh, here, I have Spanish. So we notice, how can the owl change a child's math learning experience? ¿Qué más?
Domingo said that for the colors.
Yeah, I saw. Por los colores, ¿qué más? When you look at those figures, which one attracts you?
¿Cuál de estas dos imágenes les atrae, se les hace más atractiva?
Math learning needs to be more accessible. The living object makes math more accessible. Can you translate that, please? Sorry, I forgot that.
Un
That's why my
objeto
computer crashed.
vivo hace que las matemáticas sean mucho más accesibles.
Okay. This is the framework for reinventing math. We have three critical parts. One, the evidence of math education crisis is consistent low scores and findings from the assessment scores about what students know and their difficulties with mathematical thinking. Two, math education should build upon children's innate math abilities like subitizing. And three, by giving it life, like the owl with the triangles, math is made more accessible to children and adults. So I want to divide you into small group discussions. We're going to have breakout groups. This is a 5-minute discussion, and you're going to quick share your names and one thing about yourselves, and group discussion and your thoughts on the presentation. Someone in the group take notes of the key ideas and share these on the chat. So if you don't have any questions, Ginger is going to break you out, is going to divide you into breakout groups.
All right.
Gigi, can you copy the instructions and send it by the chat?
Ginger can do. Oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
I
Yeah.
think we can message everyone too.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I will just get the groups ready, and there'll be maybe 4 to 5 people in groups.
And I will
Okay.
copy the instructions to the chat. Yes.
En este momento
Thank you.
vamos a tener unas sesiones de breakout rooms donde vamos a poder compartir nuestras experiencias, nuestros nombres, y alguien se va a encargar de tomar notas acerca de las experiencias que hayamos tenido o de la discusión que hayamos realizado en estos pequeños salones de discusión.
All right. So yep, the rooms will have about 4 to 5 people for discussion, and I'm opening up those rooms now.
So we'll time it 5 minutes. 10:52. I think they're shy.
Everyone join your friends. I didn't include the 4 of us.
Oh,
So room 1 has 3, room 2 has 2, room 3 has 2. Others, please feel free to join in the breakout room.
okay. I think also they are representing like their school. Like one Zoom and they have a school with them or something.
Mhm.
I think. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And then we can visit, right? Or we can just go to chat. Any chat room, right?
Yeah, do you do you want to hop into one of the rooms?
Yeah, I will. Okay. We only have 3 rooms.
Yeah, we only have 3 rooms.
Okay, I'm gonna go to room 3.
Okay.
Beatrice is by herself in room 3.
Oh, okay.
You can move her to room 2.
Jessica is there right
Yeah.
now.
You moved her. You should
Yeah.
move Jess too. Without her permission. I'll go to room 1. So you move Jess?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we just have 2 rooms right now. Then.
Yeah. So it's not 75 people.
No.
So room 3 now. Oh, they're not joined.
No
That's
one's
so
in room
weird.
3. Yeah, they're in this room right now, actually. Hello,
How weird.
everyone.
Kind of weird that they don't join.
Isaac, Miguel, Elizabeth, Cookies, and Violetta. And these breakout rooms are ending in, do they have 2 more minutes?
Jess said she was left on her by herself in the room. I'll just let them be because I think they won't talk if I'm there.
Mhm.
Different culture. They're just coming in too. They're just arriving.
Yeah, some are just arriving.
It's lunchtime. Weird
Mhm.
time. You're assigning him as they arrive,
Uh,
like Valentine.
I think, hello, Valentine. Five minutes is just about to wrap up.
Okay. I think we're
We're
okay.
ready to
Let's-
close. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
closing them all. They all have a minute to come back.
And then I will fix my slide. Okay. They're all back.
Yes,
Coming.
looks like everyone is just about back. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. So si podéis escribir en el chat qué pasó, que el discusión.
Do we have the possibility that they can open the mic and share?
Yeah. I think maybe
Okay.
that's better. Yeah.
Okay. Tenemos la oportunidad de poder compartir un poquito lo que fue la discusión en los breakout rooms, no sé, del grupo 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, María Beatriz, Irma, si gustarían compartir un poco lo que conversamos en el grupo 2.
Que las matemáticas se pueden aplicar en cualquier nivel de educación. No son exclusivas de un grado de edad.
María Beatriz, adelante.
Sí, las ideas se pueden adaptar a distintos tipos de grupos y distintos tipos de niveles. La idea de la conexión de la matemática con la realidad, la modelización, el uso de tecnología adaptable a cualquier nivel, no importa si es nivel primario, nivel medio o incluso nivel superior, ¿no? Y las ideas se pueden aprovechar y se pueden, se puede hacer como una especie de traducción de un nivel al otro. O sea, lo importante acá es aprovechar las ideas. Yo soy docente de nivel medio y nivel universitario, pero es lo mismo. Me llevo de acá ideas para usar yo en mis clases, no importa qué nivel sea. Y el otro tema que hablaba yo, que comentaba yo, es que por lo menos en los niveles en los que yo trabajo, yo soy de Argentina, en muchos colegios nos hemos quedado atrás en cuanto a la metodología. Estamos, como les decía, trabajando con alumnos del siglo XXI, con metodología del siglo XX, que por ahí en algunas escuelas, en otros países a lo mejor será diferente, pero en Argentina tenemos grupos grandes, tenemos una disposición adentro del aula en donde a lo mejor se dificulta trabajar de otra manera que no sea la tradicional. Los docentes a lo mejor nos hemos quedado en el tiempo con metodología antigua y hay algunos sectores en los que hay un poco de reticencia también a cambiar la forma de trabajo. Entonces, eso también lo comentaba.
Muchísimas gracias, María Beatriz. No sé si están por ahí Rosa y Violeta, que son profesoras del CETIS allá, del CETIS 101 allá en Monterrey. Si también nos pudieran compartir un poco de su experiencia con las matemáticas y cómo esta presentación se va relacionando con sus prácticas, con sus propias prácticas educativas.
Bueno, yo podría decir de lo que comentamos en el grupo que pues la manera de enseñar o que tenemos que cambiar la perspectiva en cómo se enseñan las matemáticas, haciendo de estas que sea un proceso que se disfrute y también lo que vimos ahorita que sociabilizar, ¿verdad? El aprendizaje de las matemáticas, eso pues denota la importancia que tiene para que los alumnos tengan una percepción diferente y puedan aprender, como en este caso lo que veíamos del búho, para algunos pues les llama más la atención porque pues son estudiantes de los colores, la figura lo relacionan con algo. En mi caso yo también les comentaba a los profesores que yo tiendo a basarme o me llama más la atención las figuras como simétricas, pero pues ya depende también de, o sea, que tengan más simetría de cada quien. Y bueno, también me interesó mucho de lo que mencionaban, cómo el orden de los elementos te puede ayudar a identificar más fácil el número de elementos del que está compuesto, ¿verdad? Eso sería pues, y pues en mi caso pues no había escuchado antes sobre lo que viene siendo la subtitización.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult, yeah. Subitizing. Yeah. All right, I'll stop from here because I have more to share. And if you have more to say, please write it in the chat because I think podemos continuar nuestra discusión even después de este taller. Yeah, estoy muy interesado. Okay, here you go. Vamos a hablar ahora de historias de matemáticas, math stories. So, oops, sorry. When students are listening to stories, sorry. When students are, sorry.
Can you share?
I'm just reading, yes, I have a, hold on, here you go. Can you see now?
Yes.
Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So when students are listening to a story, can you see students in my PowerPoint, the kids? Yes. Okay. When students are listening to a story, their eyes are glued to the pages of a picture book. They're intently listening to the teacher's voice, and they instinctively empathize with the story characters. And actually, this is not just for little kids. This is for everybody, even for older kids and adults. That's why fiction books are the highest selling books in the bookstores. Stories have the power to capture attention as they tap into people's curiosity and children's curiosity. Inversely, in a traditional math class, students are restless and mostly concerned if they are following the instructions correctly. They're always wondering if their answers are correct. Anxiety is triggered over not remembering every step and fact, driven by fear of making mistakes and failing, right? Is the parenthesis first or is the multiplication first, or do we do the division first? You know, there's always the order of operations that we ask ourselves. It's all about that. And there's a lot of anxiety in math class, as contrary to stories. The Math Explorer stories showcase how math concepts and processes affect everyday life and work through fictionalized simulations. Fiction refers to stories about imaginary people and events. Simulation refers to imitation of a situation or process. On the chat, write your ideas on what comes to mind when you think of fictionalized simulations of everyday situation. So en el chat, escribe tus ideas sobre lo que te viene a la mente cuando piensas en simulaciones ficticias de situaciones cotidianas. Right.
¿Qué situaciones, maestros, podríamos usar dentro de nuestras aulas de clase de la vida cotidiana, traer de la vida cotidiana hacia las aulas de clases para poderlas relacionar con el aprendizaje de las matemáticas?
Mm-hmm. Right. Thank you. I'm reading it. Yeah, very good ideas. So the reason estamos escribiendo en el chat porque es importante que we have a exchange, two-way exchange. Estoy hablando y estáis pensando y podéis comunicar que estáis pensando. Why do you think we chose to do fictionalized simulation instead of having children do real world problems in our math stories? Write your thoughts on the chat. But I actually wrote it here too, because we want to build upon children's strengths, and that's their imagination. Their imaginative ability is vital to math problem solving. Lack of equipment, how funny. Yes, that's true. Even in the US, lack of equipment, yes. But do you know, mathematicians always say that if you don't have imagination, it's very difficult to problem solve in math. But when I was learning, cuando estuve en mi escuela y I was learning math, no quieren que usamos nuestra imaginación en matemática, porque dicen que el matemática es lógica y número, no es imaginación. But the mathematicians dicen, no, es imaginación, es importante. Also, our stories are fun, funny, quirky, relatable, feels real, but it's not real. So those are some elements of our stories. Yeah. Most importantly, in our stories, the characters represent a diverse and multicultural community. Math learning is intercultural. So this is very important for us because in the United States, if you look at most of the math stories, you're going to see the characters are either white people. How do you say white people in Spanish? Like
Personas blancas.
Sí,
Yeah.
blanca.
gentes blancas, or animals. Animales.
Sí,
Yeah.
correcto.
So los dos, yeah. So so they don't really represent the students. So we did our stories that represent the students. So we also have math story manipulables and games. Because what we know, children learn best when they construct their knowledge. To elevate learning, each book is bundled with a set of hands-on math activities. Prompts embedded in the story pages deepen readers' math engagement. And then we have math concept and practice games. They can play solo or play with friends. And they can also design math projects to elevate their math learning and to make them feel ownership of the project. We have design math projects where they build, imagine, apply math ideas, and this becomes a creative plus functional project idea for the students. So here you go. I'm going to stop share because now we're going to share with you our story. Go, Ginger.
Right. Thank you so much,
And
Gigi.
Jess, I'm going to give you Jess and Ginger. They'll
Okay.
share with you our story, one of our
¿Cómo
stories.
estás, everyone? Hello, I'm Ginger Leopoldo, and myself and Jess will be continuing on with the presentation now. Let me just share my screen. One moment. All right. Are you able to see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. All right. So, hello again, everyone. It is wonderful to be with you this afternoon. The next part is we'll be sharing with you the story of Maya, the clothes maker, and Ramon, the button maker. If you have a copy of this book, you can open the box. And for those of you who don't have a copy, we'll be sharing this virtually as well, so you can follow along with the story. This part is going to be interactive. You'll be asked to participate in the chat as you've already been participating, as well as we'll have an opportunity to work in breakout rooms. So is everyone ready?
Yes.
Let's go, math explorers. And we do want to ask, are there any of you who actually have the books and the kits? Lay, is this something that our
Because
participants
they
here
are
have?
all in different parts of the country.
Oh,
No.
they are okay. So for the most part, we'll just be kind of seeing then what materials and activities are included here. So hopefully you will get your hands on one of these kits. So we'll begin. Jess, did you want to say anything before we get started?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, let's begin. And here's the start of our video. Please let me know if you're having any trouble hearing it. Maya, the clothes maker, and Ramon, the button maker. Created and written by Gigi Carunungan. Illustrated by Jessica Liu. A Math Explorer's Storybook, read by Miss Ginger Leopoldo. In this book, Maya the clothes maker and Ramon the button maker, the children discover algebraic thinking by adding to, putting together, and using the equal sign to represent a numeric answer. The story weaves together the following math ideas. Numbers tell how many. A pattern is a repeating order of objects. There are many ways to take numbers apart. Smaller numbers make bigger numbers. Equal means the same. Sets of groups of the same types of objects. The math activities take off from the Common Core benchmarks for grade 1. This book is recommended for children in kindergarten to 2nd grade or ages 5 to 7 years old. Welcome to the town of whatever. In the town of whatever, many people think they can't understand math. Is this possible? It truly is. Would you like to do math with the people in this town? So we have a question for you, just as though you might be a young student. Would you like to do the math with the people in this town? I hope that everyone is on board. Everyone in the town of whatever works every day. Farmers grow food, carpenters build houses, store owners buy and sell goods. When the people in the town of whatever have a hard time with math, they say, "Oh, never mind. Maybe our problems don't really need to be solved." Why do the people in the town of whatever have a hard time with math? Ileana. All right, so here's another question to respond to. Why do we think the people in this town might have a hard time with math? What are some of your thoughts? Why do people have a hard time with math? You can write your answers in the chat box. Maya, the clothes maker, and Ramon are benchmarks for growth. It truly is. Would you like to do math with the people in this town? Everyone in the town of whatever works every day. Farmers grow food, carpenters build houses, store owners buy and sell goods. When the people in the town of whatever have a hard time with math, they say, "Oh, never mind. Maybe our problems don't really need to be solved." Why do the people in the town of whatever have a hard time with math? Ileana, Bikoy, Amiel, and Misha live in the city. They love taking the train to visit the town of whatever. Ileana likes to sing and dance. Bikoy likes to write math equations. Amiel likes to draw and build things. Misha likes to ask, "What if?" Join the team. Draw yourself doing your favorite things. And if you can just share with us, baby, what are some of your favorite things? What do you like to do? You can share that in the chat box. This story is about Maya, a clothes maker, and her friend Ramon, a button maker. Maya sews colorful clothes with distinct designs. Every shirt and pair of pants she makes is unique for each person. In the town of whatever, people feel special when they wear Maya's clothes. She makes sure to ask each customer about their preferred style and colors. Then, Maya uses her imagination to draw their dream design. Do you have a favorite style? Describe it to a friend. An opportunity to share and tell us about what is your favorite style. You can share with us in the chat box. Just like the clothes she designs, each set of Ramon's buttons is unlike any other. Maya is the only one who buys Ramon's buttons. "Your buttons are so special," says Maya. Ramon likes to explore the mountains and find interesting pieces of wood. He uses the wood to make his buttons. He decorates them by carving, drawing, and painting on the wood. Maya asks Ramon how he comes up with his button designs. "When I see colors, shapes, and objects, I imagine how they would look on buttons." Ramon is already thinking of his next set of buttons. What kind of buttons do you think Ramon might make next? And using the pictures that we see, what kind of buttons do you think Ramon might make next? Saw him just in the woods, in the forest, hiking. Maybe we can think about how might Ramon make his next set of buttons special. Help Maya and Ramon organize their buttons. "Hi, Maya. I'm here with new buttons." "Thanks. My buttons are all mixed up. I can't find the right buttons when I need them. What should I do?" How can Maya and Ramon deal with so many buttons? Let's go, math explorers. First step, decorate and build the button case from your Math Explorers math pack. Then, pop out the buttons from your math pack. Step 3, sort the buttons into the cubbies of the case. Step 4, count how many buttons there are in each set. And step 5, write what makes each set unique. All right. So now, Jess, can you share with us a little bit about some of the materials here?
Yes. So I'm going to explain, or ahora voy a intentar explicar la primera actividad de nuestro libro. Entonces, para Math Explorers, este libro viene en este caja que tengo acá. Y por cada caja tenemos hojas para las actividades, hojas de instrucciones que también contienen las partes para, por ejemplo, tengo acá la caja, un dado, aquí tengo esas cartas acá también, pero para esta actividad necesitaríamos las hojas para la caja. Entonces los niños van a construir esta caja, van a seguir las instrucciones de acá, de esta hoja, si pueden ver. Y también van a agarrar los botones que hay en las cajas, que vienen en las cajas también, y pueden usar las cajas para varias cosas, por ejemplo, arreglar los botones, clasificarlos por color, por tamaño, por diseño, y también puede usar, en inglés se llama un 10 frame, porque tiene 5 por cada lado, en total son 10. Entonces los niños también pueden usar para contar o en una otra actividad vamos a mostrar cómo se pueden usar para sumar, aprender cómo sumar también. Y también pueden usar, cuando terminan las actividades, se usan también para guardar los botones aquí. Entonces, sí, las cajas vienen con like cardboard, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. So the buttons are from there, and then they can sort. Por ejemplo, acá tengo 3 botones verdes y acá son 2 azules. Entonces, acá voy a poner los azules y acá los verdes, y así pueden clasificar y aprender y practicar este skill, I guess. This math skill.
La habilidad de las matemáticas.
Yeah. And then tenemos para la actividad una otra página, y allí, Ginger, can you pull it up? So I'll show the guide. Pueden hacer como una guía o una mapa que pueden escribir y dibujar los botones, cómo se clasificaron o se arreglaron los botones.
Make a map for your button case. How many buttons of each type does Maya have? Write and draw what makes these buttons a set. Write the number of buttons in the set here. Make a set of buttons using the letters of your name. Today, Maya is finishing a shirt for a very tall man. He is probably the tallest person in the town of whatever. Look, some buttons are missing, says the tall man. Oh gosh, he's right, Maya whispers to Ramon. There are more buttonholes than buttons. Oh gosh, I must have made a mistake, says Maya. Clothes need to have the same number of buttons and buttonholes. How can Maya and Ramon solve this problem? Ramon and Maya are not sure what to do about the tall man's shirt. Like most people in the town of whatever, they want to avoid the problem. Yet they can't stop worrying about their unhappy customer. What if Ramon doesn't have any more buttons like those on the tall man's shirt? Just when they were about to give up, Bikoy arrives at the clothes shop. He quickly notices the missing buttons on the tall man's shirt. Why don't we try by counting the buttons on the shirt? Bikoy likes using math to help people. Together, Bikoy, Maya, and Ramon count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. Bikoy explains the total number of buttons is 5. In math, total is the word used to say all. He continues, numbers tell how many. Now let's try to count the total numbers of buttonholes without buttons. Can you count how many buttons are missing from the tall man's shirt? The number of buttons and buttonholes must be equal, says Bikoy. My shirt has 2 buttons and 2 buttonholes. He draws 2 buttons and 2 buttonholes. In between, he draws 2 lines. The symbol in the middle is called the equal sign. And when we connect things with an equal sign, it becomes an equation. Maya shouts, "That makes sense! There are the same number of things on each side of the equal sign. What if I have 2 orange buttons on one side and 3 purple ones on the other side?" asks Ramon. "They are not equal," replies Maya. Bikoy nods and draws a slash through the equal sign. 2 is not equal to 3. Maya writes an equation to explain the problem. Total buttons equals total buttonholes. She figures out how to use math to solve the problem. "I have many extra buttons," says Ramon, "but the colors and shapes are different from those on this shirt." Bikoy counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 square blue buttons. Next, I'll draw 5 green round buttons like those on the tall man's shirt. Then he draws an equal sign on another small piece of paper. Maya shouts excitedly, "That makes sense! 5 and 5 are the same, which means 5 and 5 are equal." Bikoy draws a new symbol, plus, and inserts it between the blue square and the round green buttons. This is called plus. The plus tells us 5 and 5 are together in a group. In math, a group is also called a set. Then, Bikoy moves the equal sign to the right and writes the number 10 next to it. Maya explains, "This means that 2 sets of 5 buttons on one side are equal to 10 buttons." Bikoy adds, "Yes, and putting the number 10 on the other side of the equal sign completes our equation." Help Maya design new shirts. I want to make new shirts with buttons organized in different ways. I know. We can find different ways using dice. How can smaller numbers make bigger numbers? Let's go, Math Explorers! First, build the dice from your math pack. Find the t-shirt illustrations on pages 33 through 35. Almost there. You will need a pencil, 20 buttons, and your 3D button case. The goal of the game is to get as many different combinations as you can of smaller numbers so that they add up to a bigger number. Number 1, roll the dice. Number 2, add the numbers from the dice for your total. Number 3, write the total on one side of the equal sign in the box under the shirt. Number 4, count as many buttons as your total from the dice. Number 5, arrange the buttons in the button case. Number 6, draw your new design on the shirt. Number 7, complete the equation under the shirt with the numbers from your dice. Number 8, now roll the dice again and do steps 2 through 7 until you've designed all 6 shirts. After each round, show your shirt button design to the other players. If you each end up with 2 different designs of the same total number, then you each get a point. Ramon puts more of his...
Ok. Entonces, para la segunda actividad, los niños usan esta hoja de dados para construir 2 dados así y para este juego. Y nosotros usamos los juegos para enseñar a maneras diferentes para sumar, porque se siente más divertido, más emocionante. Y también, aunque es un juego muy simple, se aumenta la actitud de los niños cuando aprende esos conceptos o esas ideas o nuevas ideas en general. Entonces, también tienen una oportunidad para practicar su creatividad en arte y en los diseños, y también porque se usan sus propias ideas, sus manos para formar esos diseños, y los niños también pueden sentir más conectados con los conceptos de ecuaciones, de sumar, y también con la actividad también. No sé si tienen algunas preguntas o algo. Okay, so Ginger, go ahead.
Other ways to make the number 10, he thinks. Bikoy counts Ramon's buttons and gives Maya and Ramon 10 buttons each. 10 buttons equals 10 buttons. 10 equals 10. Let's start by putting these two sets of 10 buttons on the table with an equal sign in the middle. Then use the plus sign to combine numbers in different ways to make 10 on each side of the equal sign symbol. Finally, they return to the tall man's shirt. Maya counts. There are 5 buttons on the shirt, and there are 5 buttonholes without buttons. So we need 5 more buttons to finish the tall man's shirt. But we don't have 10 round green buttons for the tall man's shirt. I have another idea. Ramon is thinking differently. If we use buttons with other shapes and colors, we will have a total of 10 buttons. But then the top buttons won't be the same color and shape as the bottom ones. Maya is not sure about mixing buttons on the same shirts. Let's try something different, says Ramon excitedly. We can create a pattern by alternating green round buttons and blue square buttons. Maya still isn't sure, but she is curious about Ramon's pattern idea. She quickly rearranges the buttons on the tall man's shirt. Maya asks the tall man how he feels about the pattern of mixed buttons on his shirt. He looks at the mirror and says, "Oh, I think the combination of colors and shapes are unique, just like your clothes. I like it."
Okay. And, y tenemos una actividad más, pero no usan los del Math Pack, se llama. Pero allí los niños pueden practicar cómo identificar modelos o patrones matemáticas. I don't know, patterns, Lei? Is that the right word?
Correct, patrones.
Yeah. Entonces pueden ver en una historia ya podemos como podemos hablar sobre varios conceptos, varias ideas, y así pueden usar juegos para crear un ambiente más divertido, una manera más divertida de aprender matemáticas. And yeah, I don't know. Should we go back to the... And yeah, math is so much fun.
So yes. So these books are all designed to kind of show and kind of experience for the students how math can be fun like this. So our next part is for us to work at breakout rooms. And so we will be discussing the 3 following questions. And we have something called a Jamboard set up. So there is a link in the chat box that everyone can hop on. And I will just walk us through what this Jamboard has. Notice when you go onto the link that there are plenty of just blank Post-it notes. Note that there are 3 pages here that has a room for you to write and share your thoughts. And so one of the first questions is just to ask you what your thoughts were about the story and how did you feel about the story that was just presented. The second question is, how is the math story that we just experienced, how is that different from how you learned math growing up? And then the final one is a question about what is the influence of art and literature and math on the learning process? Try and see if you can share some of the examples that you noticed from the story. So on the Jamboard, we'll be again working in breakout rooms, and you'll have a chance just to discuss with your group, as well as take some time to write your thoughts on these 3 boards. Is everyone able to access the Jamboard okay? Anyone having any trouble with it? It is a Google collaborative document.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay, good. And we'll share those questions too once we're in the breakout room. So if there are any people having trouble, writing, you can just also, of course, discuss. We'll spend about 7 minutes in the breakout rooms. So I'll set up the breakout rooms now. And again, please join your group if you could, so that we can take the time.
Ginger, maybe just 3
with
groups.
our partners. Yeah, 3 groups.
Vamos a ir a breakout rooms ahora. Vamos a estar trabajando unas preguntas que están en el link en el Jamboard, que de hecho el Jamboard es parecido a un Padlet. Si han usado antes pues un Padlet, o quizás también parecido a otras herramientas que nos ayudan a poder compartir nuestras ideas. Entonces, nos van a asignar breakout rooms para que podamos volver a compartir y poder llenar las preguntas que se encuentran en esta pantalla compartida llamada Jamboard.
All right, I'll open up the breakout rooms now. Please join your group and discuss and share together. Seven minutes.
Bueno, yo sí quisiera comentar nada más acerca de las preguntas. Bueno, yo creo que desde pequeños esa ha sido como que una buena estrategia, es las matemáticas se aprendan de acuerdo a la experiencia o más bien o que se plasmen como que si fuera un juego, con juegos, ¿no? Porque es más importante o es importante que los niños aprendan algo desde el juego para que se les hagan divertidas y se pueda aprender desde la experiencia. Entonces, bueno, las matemáticas es primordial en todos los aspectos. Y si a nuestros niños los podemos impulsar desde juegos sencillos para que ellos se les haga divertido, yo creo que es una manera en que pueden pues facilitar la adquisición del aprendizaje de las matemáticas, que es primordial para poder, pues ahora sí que para la vida. ¿Sí, maestra Jessica?
No soy maestra, pero yes, I agree.
Ok.
Mhm. Yeah, for the kids, para los niños, los juegos son más como, yeah, it's more natural.
Yes, natural.
Yeah, it's more natural and more fun, more exciting. Y también
Right, we'll be closing out the rooms now, although it does seem like some people are still adding their thoughts. Did you say this is a good time, Gigi? Give them a couple more minutes or close them out now. All right, we're bringing everyone back. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We do hope you had a chance to share and write on the Jam boards. Feel free to share and write anything that comes to mind. It doesn't have to be so profound. We appreciate everyone who is able to share their thoughts and their notes. And yes, in English or in Spanish is just fine. This Jamboard is available for you to add to as well, but thank you for those of you who shared some of your thoughts. Again, there are 3 pages on that board, so if you didn't have a chance to answer or share your response for the other 2 questions, please take time to do so. All right. Now we are just going to continue on with our telling you about the Math Explorers books. So here are 4 in the set, and as someone had mentioned, you know, it's kind of wonderful how so many different concepts are explored within the one story. And so we had a chance to experience the first book, Maya, the Clothes Maker, and Ramon, the Button Maker, which goes into algebraic thinking and looking at equations. In the story of Manuel, the Table Maker, this is where we look at shapes and explore triangles and polygons. Farmer Antonio and Ruby, the Ice Cream Maker, looks at skip counting and subitizing, which is the concept that Gigi introduced to us earlier. So it's about numbers, number sense. And finally, Pipa, the architect, has the students engaging with square inch tiles in area, so measurement.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are part of our math stories. They're comprised of multicultural characters, math identities. Contain multicultural characters. Children teach children math. So our 4 main characters and 4 math explorers are children themselves. And they also use multiple modalities using different sensory channels.
And of course, when we take a look at the math stories aesthetics, we experience this sort of life in the town of whatever. And the setting is in this town where people avoid using math to solve their problems. And this premise takes off from how people young and old remark, oh, I don't really like math. I'm not good at math. And this sort of reflects the generations of math trauma that we may experience in our lives. So kind of the way the stories are set already gets everyone connecting to some problems that we may experience with math.
In these picture books, the stories present the math explicitly as part of the conversation.
Yeah, and the stories provide definitions and visuals to describe math concepts.
Math problems are conceptual and open-ended.
And the stories are fueled by math big ideas.
As they read the stories, children help the characters and learn by solving math problems.
All right, so yeah, those are, that's just part of our presentation that walks you through a little bit how the math stories are designed. And I'll hand it over to Gigi again.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
But will these solutions
Oops,
work?
Oops.
Exactly
Sorry,
the question of these.
Oops, Gigi, wait. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So as I told you earlier that after we did the books, we went to public schools in California and we chose the low performing public schools to do our study. And here you go.
But will these solutions work? Exactly the question of this study. Amidst the chaos caused by COVID and Omicron, these teachers agreed to support the two of the books, games, and activities.
So
this is Miss Gigi. Can you wave to Miss Gigi? Say hi, Miss Gigi. Hi, Miss Gigi.
I just want you to see the kids and the teachers. Yeah.
I want to know what happens when children learn math with stories.
She wants to know how to make that happen. And I want to know how to make that happen too. So together, we're going to try to figure out part of the answer to that for the next few days. Okay?
Okay. So, and then because we wanted the study to be objective, we triangulated with interviews of specialists in the field. So these were the specialists that we interviewed. Because the research was also part, we created a documentary of this. We will be sharing with you maybe in about 2 or 3 weeks, will be available for the public. So what are the key insights of the study? The children read and participated in the stories, like they were characters in the story. The stories kept the children focused. It sparked their curiosity. Introducing math through stories diminished math anxiety and grew the children's interests in math learning. Let me show you again the children. There's nothing like seeing the children.
They're all birds. They're all white. What did you do with that one? That's it. Go look carefully. What did you think? They don't have more than 2. Look at Valeria. She's fat free. I'm sure that Rebecca's gonna have like 4. What would you do? Oh, so you think it's mostly interesting. Do you think you could put them in groups? Okay, go for it. Okay. And not to my color, now you're doing fine. Great, go for it.
Wait, what about the same thing?
Oh. And you see, what you notice, some have how many holes? 2 holes. Some have 4 holes. And what about that one? That's crazy. Okay, go ahead and start. Wow. I know that Sebastian, I want you to keep going. So right now, I want you to stand. The rest of you stand. And I want you to picture Kirsten. It's been a while since we've done that. And I want you to put your hands behind your back. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna remind you, you need to put your buttons back where they were. 4 buttons. And I want you to look. I want you to walk around the classroom at other people's desks. And I want you to think about how other people sorted their buttons. And just like in a gallery, Gannon, when we go to a museum, we don't touch things when they're there. That's why our hands are behind our back. When we look and we observe, oh, that's really interesting. Oh, I know. Doing it that way, right? Yes, we have it at the museum right now. So would you please slowly look around, hands behind your back. We want to be respectful of people sorting. And notice what they did. I'd like you to go to.
Okay, so. Sorry. This student was holding the buttons on his shirt here, mirroring the character in the story. While they were reading it, the students saw themselves in the characters. It was amazing. The experiences were meaningful because children were driven by purpose. Doing math was associated with helping the characters. And that's what came from the kids. They said, we love this math because we're helping the characters. Multicultural children connect to multicultural characters. The characters developed empathy among the children and inspired math explorations. Children learn mathematical thinking by modeling sets and equations. I want you to notice how all students are on task. The teachers were also very surprised. There was no behavioral issue or very, very minimal behavioral issue. With the support of the images, the children were able to visualize the narrative and the math ideas. So the kids were able to explain the math ideas. Children discovered and explored math concepts through open-ended math challenges. Again, I want you to observe how the kids are, no behavioral problems. Mathematical responses to the challenges in the stories were fictional applications of real-world problems, like the bridge. Math learning was more than just solving for the correct answer. The questions embedded in the stories stimulated logical and analytical thinking, exemplifying how math ideas guide problem solving. Watch the children, watch their body language. They're really engaged. The teachers could focus on individual students with the class fully immersed in following through the story and illustrations. Watch their body language. Look at this kid here. The story shifted students' attitudes from fear of having to be correct to get the teacher's approval to excitement to being able to contribute their knowledge, abilities, and insights in open-ended mathematical discovery and exploration. Cognitive learning was achieved without the use of rote memorization. Math learning was exciting because students witnessed and felt how much their views mattered. The learning design of the extension activities, such as the card games and creative projects, generated connections to the story, cultivated positive social interactions, and motivated children to practice and master learning the math concepts. The teachers were pleasantly surprised at how much the children learned in a few sessions. Yeah. And I also interviewed Dr. Trina Wilkerson. She's the president of the National Council of Teachers in Math. I don't know her. I just made her watch some of the sessions, and she was really impressed. And she talked about how the math stories cultivated mathematical sense-making and reasoning. The math ideas in context in the story made sense to the children. As such, what these children struggled in math learning for a whole semester, they learned in a single story plus math extension activities. And towards the end of the study, the children asked this: ¿Podemos llevarnos los libros a casa para poder compartir las historias con nuestras familias? So the children couldn't wait to share the math story with their families. It was a surprise also for the teachers that the children wanted to share their maths with their families. It never happened before. So there you go. So that was our study. Oops, sorry. Boom. So, Jing. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gigi and Ginger and Jess. At this point, Ginger, can you share our slides? So the important thing now is we want to stay connected with all of you, right? So if you could just share the slide, Ginger. Okay, so we want you, all of us, to stay connected. There is a Google form, and in the Google form, you just click on the Google form and provide your contact information so that we can keep you updated and have you part of our learning community. Next, so if you could, fill that out. And are there questions at this point? Maybe this is the best time. If there are any questions that you would like for any of us to answer.
I don't know if you also can share information about the STEAM leave also. That would be interesting, given the concept of the Congress also.
Okay, so what happens is that we had a partnership and Lai was very instrumental in it. We have an ongoing program here called the Learning Enrichment Across Families. And then real quickly, maybe Lai, you could just describe real quickly that in Spanish for them, and then this is how we connected it. And so right now we have sent books and those manipulables, the story kits. We had sent it to the Congress, and if you are interested in any of those sets, then everything would have to go through the Congress, the organizers. Like?
Muy bien. Solamente queremos compartir con ustedes que las presentadoras, las ponentes de la sesión de hoy también tienen una asociación que se llama CIRCA Pintig y tienen una rama para lo que es educación en ciencias. Les dejo una liga para que puedan revisar la página de ellos. Son actividades en ciencias que pueden ayudar a motivar y a cambiar la educación a través de cosas muchísimo más prácticas. Les dejo la liga y pues nos vamos despidiendo porque vamos a cerrar la sesión. Entonces, igual, por favor, está un Google Form. Si quieren mantenerse en contacto con las presentadoras, también dejaron los correos.
And live, maybe, you know, specifically for the storybooks, it is best that you also access the mathexplorers.org. That is where you get all the information, how you can become a storyteller, and all of those.
Oh, not that.
Gigi and Jess, do we have a website for Math Explorers also
Yeah,
that we
it's
can share?
mathexplorers.org. Gigi, maybe you could share
Okay,
that.
we'll go there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We really thank you, Angela, Gigi, Ginger, and Jessica, for your presentation. It's always a pleasure to share with you and be with people who are engaged with science and just trying to make the world a better place to be through education. So really, we're grateful. And we are also saying goodbye to all our teachers that were here in the conference. Just stay for the next one, okay? Thank you.
Great,
Bye.
thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
There
everyone.
There was a question Maria had. How do you make up the stories? Where do you get the ideas for the stories?
Oh, so Maria, we have imaginative minds too. Yeah.
Yes.
We're also inspired by our environment, and by the people we encounter, and then the children too, you know. And if you connect with us, we're going to be offering some courses on storytelling
Okay.
next year, because I think that storytelling should not only be for young kids, it should also
No.
be for older kids. I mean, college students too, because I think if you notice today, what kept us listening was a story, right?
Yes, yes, you're right.
And it's so easy to understand math concepts as you listen to the story. Like, it just makes sense, right? But they're just
Yes.
talking, oh, you know, equal and not equal and blah blah blah, etc. Like, it comes as a part of the conversation. And that's what we want to happen with children, is that when they talk to each other, math becomes part of the conversation. It's not something academic.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So please send us your contact info. Let's continue our conversation. And we'll be offering more resources in the coming year.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again,
everyone.
Live, for
Thanks,
doing the
Lai.
presentation, and thanks for having us in this Congress.
Thank you, everyone.
Angela,
Thanks,
Gigi,
everyone.
Adiós, todos.
muchas gracias por su
A la vista.
participación.
Gracias.
Recuerden que les vamos a enviar el link, ya lo tienen para la próxima conferencia, y los veo allá adentro. Muchísimas gracias a nuestros oradores el día de hoy, en nombre del comité organizador. Thank you very much for your presentations, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right, we
Bye.
look forward to staying in touch.
Bye-bye.
Gracias.
Bye.